The day America changed history. Inside the D-Day invasion. On June 6, 1944, the world woke up to a moment that would redefine the course of modern history, a day now known simply as D-Day, when the United States and its allied partners launched the largest amphibious invasion ever attempted to break Hitler's grip on Europe. And as dawn broke over the English Channel, more than 156,000 Allied troops prepared for a mission that many knew they might not return from, but believed was necessary to restore freedom to a world in crisis. In the months leading up to the invasion, American generals like Dwight D. Eisenhower worked tirelessly to coordinate a strategy that combined air power, naval might, and ground forces, while intelligence officers ran decoy operations like the famous Operation Bodyguard, designed to trick German commanders into believing the attack would strike elsewhere. And according to military historians, these deception efforts played a major role in keeping the enemy guessing until the very last moment. As the soldiers boarded their landing craft in the early hours of that cold June morning, the atmosphere was quiet but heavy, and many veterans later recalled the mixture of fear, determination, and prayer that filled the air as they sailed toward the beaches of Normandy. The weather that day was rough, with strong winds and choppy waves that made commanders consider delaying the mission. Yet Eisenhower famously decided to move forward, believing that waiting even one more day could cost the Allies their best chance at breaking through, and his bold call would soon become one of the most consequential decisions in military history. As American troops approached Utah and Omaha beaches, they saw flashes of German artillery lighting up the horizon, and the roar of naval bombardments shook the sky as Allied ships attempted to soften enemy defenses. Still, by all accounts, nothing could fully prepare them for the intensity of what awaited on shore. At Omaha Beach in particular, strong tides pulled landing craft off course. Gunfire poured down from fortified cliffs, and obstacles planted in the sand created chaos, leading some historians to describe it as one of the most harrowing battlegrounds American soldiers had ever faced. Yet despite the devastating conditions, small groups of infantry pushed forward, forming makeshift units, crawling through wet sand, scaling cliffs, and gradually knocking out enemy positions. A series of courageous actions that military experts say turned near disaster into a breakthrough. Meanwhile, at Utah Beach, a landing error carried American troops nearly 2,000 yards south of the intended drop point. But instead of retreating, commanders famously decided, "We'll start the war from here," and use the unexpected location to their advantage, encountering lighter resistance than anticipated and securing the beachhead within hours. Above the beaches, American paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions dropped into dark, heavily defended farmland, with many landing miles away from their designated zones due to clouds, anti-aircraft fire, and poor visibility. Yet their scattered positions unintentionally confused the Germans, and the paratroopers' small, improvised units helped seize bridges, disrupt communication lines, and prevent reinforcements from reaching the beaches. Historians often point out that these airborne troops, despite being disoriented and isolated, played a crucial role in ensuring the overall success of the invasion, proving that courage and adaptability could succeed even when plans fell apart. As news of the landing spread, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the American people in a national radio broadcast, offering a solemn public prayer for the troops and calling on the nation to unite behind the mission. And many Americans still remember that moment as a powerful reminder of the war's moral weight. By nightfall on June 6th, the Allies had secured a fragile foothold in Normandy, and although the cost was immense, thousands of casualties in a single day, commanders recognized that the beachheads offered the first real chance to push deep into Nazi-occupied territory, setting the stage for the liberation of France and ultimately the defeat of Hitler's regime. In the months that followed, American forces advanced slowly through hedgerows, fields, and fortified towns, facing fierce resistance, but with each mile gained, the momentum shifted more decisively toward the Allies, and D-Day became widely viewed as the turning point of World War II. Military scholars often debate what might have happened had the invasion failed, with some arguing that the war could have stretched on for years, and others noting that a defeat might have emboldened Axis powers beyond recovery. But nearly all agree that the courage shown on D-Day reshaped global history. Even today, visitors to Normandy walk along those same beaches, Omaha, Utah, Juneau, sword, and gold, where rusted remnants of landing craft still rest in the sand, and rows of white crosses mark the resting places of those who made the ultimate sacrifice, creating a landscape that feels both sacred and deeply humbling. The legacy of D-Day is not simply one of military victory, but of extraordinary human resolve, reminding Americans that ordinary individuals, farmers, factory workers, students, clerks, rose to become heroes when history demanded it. And as historians continue to study that day, they often highlight how the teamwork between allied nations, combined with the bravery of soldiers who risked everything, ultimately restored hope to millions living under tyranny. Though memories fade over time, the lessons of D-Day remain vital, that courage in the face of overwhelming odds can change the trajectory of an entire world, and that freedom, once defended at such a cost, is something every generation must cherish and protect. And for Americans today, remembering D-Day is more than honoring the past. It's acknowledging how one day, shaped by courage and sacrifice, forever altered the future of humanity. This historical video is for educational purposes. Viewers seeking detailed military or historical analysis should consult qualified historians or official archives.